Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and brassringmedia.com. I'm here with Robert Karplitz, WD Creative _ish. You'll notice there's nothing around us right now. That's because I have a reason for that. We also have another guest popping in. It is Mr. Kevin Kellum joining us today, too, as well.
Hey,
Robert,
what's up, guys? How are you? How are we doing?
good. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. I guess I have to spend so much more money just to be able to do a podcast now moving forward. I guess everyone's complaining about how much money they're going to spend watching wrestling every month now, just watching it somewhere, right?
Dude, here's what I love. I got kayfabe that you were even going to be on the show today.
You got kayfabe, brother?
I got kayfabed. I love it. I'm the least bald person on this show right now, and I could not be happier. What a day. Before we get to Kevin Kellum, let's say hi to some of the folks who are joining us. Jeff Henninger says, good day, R&I, and it's good to know that Dom only interviews people he looks up to.
Hey.
That is mean and accurate. Dre Owens says, so what do you want to talk about, R&I? Marcus Johnson says, I'm finally able to catch a live episode. Hey, Rumor Rights. Marcus, thanks for joining us. Like that. See, he's suited up. He's got a shirt and tie in his picture.
Heck yeah.
That's his government photo. It sounds like he just assumed a deputy county position, you know?
He very well missed. He's the official deputy county commissioner of Rumor and Innuendo. Congratulations on the position. And then Wrestling Old Head says, did you see AEW change their slogan? They went from where the best wrestle to production meetings. We have those. They sure did talk about that a lot. Like, I don't want to say Tony's plugged into what we're doing here, but Tony Khan is clearly plugged into what's going on here.
He's tuning in.
And as he should be, and we were tuning into his product, but we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, starting with, since we have Kevin here, he's down below us, big week of wrestling news, specifically with our friends at ESPN. What was your takeaway from that big announcement?
I still think there's a lot of confusion about price points and how people can get this. And from my gathering of it and working for Sportskeeda and them being in another country and, you know, and obviously they're not affected. They have Netflix, you know, and immediately there was, you know, VPN jokes going and stuff like that. And then they were like, well, is it honestly $29? And then I guess, you know, I'm very surprised this wasn't the front taking thing to say. If you have a cable package, most of them, I believe, you get this, you know, direct to consumer service just through your cable service. And then some other people are pretty upset about it. So obviously I think for wrestling fans, it's just like, I want to pay Peacock this price and I get Peacock. I'll watch it sometimes for different movies and things like that, but I'm really getting it for WWE. So it's really that insulated vibe to it. This is very much, I think, WWE making a move to feel as a broadcast entity. As you see NFL make these moves, now NFL has equity in some of the things that, you know, ESPN is doing. They own like a 10% stake in some stuff. And so to me, it was just kind of like that type of move, you know, and this is the direction they were going in with the Peacock deal to begin with. So, I mean, is it wrong for them to have business? Does it feel greedy? Does it feel like they're asking too much of the fans? Is it inflation? You know, the base level observations are all there. But to me, I think hopefully they figure it out. I'm not going to write it off, but I mean, there was a blowback to it. I think even just from like some fans, though. Does it feel more legit that WWE's on ESPN? I think you can say that for sure. Like, it feels like really, really legit to say that they're on this type of new service and they're going to be next to all these different sports entities and they're going to treat it like, yeah, we know it's a show, but these are real athletes. And that's, I think maybe, Robert, from you working on the other side, there is a maturation of that, you know, like, so like to me, like it kind of just feels like another version of it. It doesn't feel like a carny wrestling. We're gonna, you know, be a part of this brand new app. No, it's ESPN. It's Disney, you know. It's worth noting WWE has had deals with almost every major media company now, you know.
Yeah, the only media company they have not had a deal with is Warner Discovery. And what has that really gotten AEW, quite frankly, just because now AEW is on Max. But if
boy, right there, what does the dog think? I want to know what the dog thinks.
Marty's very excited about what's going on here.
Yeah.
But if you're WWE, you are now in line with Netflix, you are in line with NBC Universal, you are in line with Disney. You are in a really good position across every major entertainment juggernaut that there is. And for ESPN, they are getting a guaranteed proof of concept with the WWE product. And the people who are upset about the $30 price point, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, that was at the cost or below the cost of what pay-per-views were for years. They prior inflation. You were paying $29.95, $39.95, $49.95 for just the pay-per-view, and that's all you got. Now, for this $30, you're getting whatever this ESPN streaming platform is going to be. And with Hulu going away and that merging into Disney Plus, there's people who are going to be saving money there. Not to mention the fact Peacock was poised to raise its monthly subscription fee to be the most expensive streaming platform that there was.
What were they going to get to? I don't know what that point was.
I think it was like $16.99 was their
I think the minimum, though, actually, the minimum tier was $10.99. So it's not terrible, to be honest.
It's
still,
not terrible, but
$30 a month is $30 a month to some people.
It is it's absolutely a steep ask, but economically speaking, they are getting 3 times as much revenue from ESPN as they were from Peacock. This is a $1.8, $1.9 billion deal across 5 years. So if they lose a third of their audience that they're getting on Peacock, they're still coming out well ahead. The other factor to consider, and then I'll stop talking, is our friends at AEW have no issue charging full boat just for a one-off pay-per-view. And for a lot of people, that's a pretty steep price to charge. And I think that's creating a barrier of entry for people to get into AEW, because with WWE, your commitment for the longest time was, I tune into Raw, I tune into SmackDown, I can watch the PLE on a Peacock streaming service that costs me $10 a month, and I get to see everything. If I'm into AEW and I'm really enjoying what's going on the storylines on TV, I have to pony up $40 or $50 in order to watch a single pay-per-view.
But at least that's quarterly, though, right? That's not like every month.
They're no longer quarterly. They have more than 4
they're doing more.
Year.
They added more, right? They added how many more are they running now, Dom? Is it like 8 or 9 now?
Like 8, maybe 10. Maybe 10.
I don't know if they're up to 10. I know they have at least 8. And I thought for sure with the HBO Max partnership with Warner Discovery, we were going to see this as part of Max. Like that was going to be the ultimate goal, because the idea is the most eyeballs. And I think the division here is WWE, while owned by TKO is still a publicly traded company. They have to maximize their revenues. AEW is owned lock, stock, and barrel by Tony Khan. If Tony Khan decided tomorrow to come out and say, hey, I see you guys are all really upset about this $30 a month thing, we're going to make all AEW pay-per-views available on Max for $5.
Yeah.
They could literally do that tomorrow and potentially
what would the finances that break down to, though, Robert?
What does he care? He's privately owned.
True.
It's his money.
Yeah.
So if you're saying, I don't know how much they charge for a pay-per-view.
I think it's
AEW
like
pay-per-view.
I think it's $50.
Yeah, let's say it's $50 a pay-per-view and you're getting 100,000 buys versus it's going to be $5 a month and you get 500,000 buys or 600,000 buys, but you're getting more audience that's tuning into your show every week. That's a pretty good trade-off. So it is interesting to see what's going to happen with the industry going forward. I never thought the Peacock situation was going to be sustainable because they were working so hard to get that NBA deal. And Peacock is really kind of bolstered just by the WWE content and reruns of The Office. And now they have that new Office show that's debuting. Peacock has not really launched a truly buzzy streaming show.
You're right. Yeah, they haven't. I mean,
Apple lucked out. They got Severance. Severance took off.
They have some good shows, but none of them had like the buzz factor.
I know people watch Twisted
Poker
Metal.
Face is a good show.
Poker Face is a good show. But Poker Face has not really crossed over into like everybody has to watch it. It's the show people are watching.
Also, SNL on there. I thought when I got it, like I was a big comedy freak. I thought like, oh, you're going to have all the individual episodes. Maybe the music is cut out. They chop them up and some of them are like 20 minutes long.
It's awful.
You get 20-30 minutes of some of those shows. So the allure for Peacock to me is a little confusing if you take away the WWE content to justify that price tag. And I don't know that NBA games is enough to really justify why someone's going to spend that money. Paramount they rode the wave of Yellowstone. And even though that did originally air on cable, like most people watch that through Paramount Plus, like you need a sort of a signature show, a signature thing. Wrestling Old Head points out Peacock was $5.97 for a subscription. It was way cheaper than what WWE charged for the network. I pay $5 a month for Peacock through Xfinity. It was like an extra little add-on, but the asinine way they structure it, I couldn't buy the ad-free version.
Really?
Even though I have Xfinity, I'm going, I will pay you more money. If you want me to charge me $10, I'll pay it. They're like, you can't. It's $5 or it's nothing through Xfinity. And you're stuck watching the ads, and the ads absolutely wind up destroying a PLE because you don't get to see the video packages, and you have to hear that Wheatley song 15, 16 times a show.
Yeah.
And I know it's so good I drink it neatly, but
at least you're aware of that. I mean, yesterday we talked about it in great detail and stuff like that. And, I thinking about it after it all kind of settled a little bit, like I was concerned. I thought the bubble's going to burst here. And I still kind of think that at some point for WWE, where it's just the goodwill of fans and stuff like that. It can come to a point where it's just like you're pricing a great contingency of your fan base out. But I mean, when you package it with ESPN, you have NFL involved with all that stuff too at the same time. It's an intriguing thing.
Yeah, but answer me this. You're saying you're pricing out your fan base. $30 a month is not more expensive than they've ever charged for a real pay-per-view.
No.
Outside of in your house. So wrestling fans have always been priced out of being complete wrestling fans. But I think all three of us have talked about we didn't grow up getting to watch the pay-per-views every single month.
No, you had to watch them on like a Lapse or find it on Blockbuster and things like that.
Blockbuster.
But I also think for someone who's 20 years old, who got into wrestling in the last 10 years, Robert, to them, it's $10 a month. I get it on my app. It's been that way for the last 10 plus years since the network launched.
Right. But most of those younger fans don't have cable. So they're not spending the whatever that cable bill is every month to begin with. So if you're told $30 a month, I get ESPN and all of the sports that are on ESPN and whatever other added content.
If I'm WWE, I get this WWE network on ESPN, and you figure out a price point that's accessible.
The other piece that we haven't seen is what's going to happen with UFC.
Yeah.
Because if UFC winds up getting bundled into this as well, that's intriguing for this $30 a month price point,
right?
For some fans.
Yeah. I mean, you're casting a wide net, which I think ultimately is good, especially like the people tuning in specifically for ESPN and the NFL. So, I mean, like maybe you're going to outreach. Oh, I can watch pay-per-views now or PLEs now, wrestling. I'll try it out. So I think that's intriguing. But I think from a wrestling standpoint, you making the jump over to $30 when you're so accustomed to paying $10.99 a month, $6.99 a month, and you're getting all the PLEs at this point, it is a big ask still. It's still a big ask.
But they will adjust to what the market wants. WWE Network was so revolutionary when it was a $9.99 price point when they were literally asking for WrestleMania for $60 the year prior. And you just went, whoa, that's a crazy value. And you gave fans that for quite a while. And now you're trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
That's the feeling I think a lot of people have, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s, Robert. I that's the sentiment I'm getting from people that are about 5-6 years younger than me.
I'm sure, but we're also in an
Marty's
environment
pissed.
right now.
Marty is so mad.
We're also in an environment in a world right now where I think people understand streaming is sort of their one option, and because there are so many platforms, you now have Hulu that's going away. Peacock was the other one that was being flagged for will that survive. There was the Discovery Plus app and the HBO or Max app, and they kind of merged them together. So Discovery Plus on its own sort of went away for a large number of people. The market will wind up shaping itself out. And at the end of the day, if people really want to find WWE PLEs and they don't want to spend that $30 a month, there's decades of evidence that they will find a way to watch those shows.
There is.
So if you have stock in Pro Wrestling Torrents, what a day for you. Is that even still a thing?
probably.
Yeah, I would.
I don't know. What was a thing was Ariel Helwani had Paul Heyman on, and I made sure to listen to it this morning. I don't know if you gentlemen had a chance to hear that interview.
I'm looking forward to it. One of my favorite interviews I've ever done was with Paul Heyman. Absolutely.
I have not, but I've read the articles. So, Robert, I'm glad you tuned into it and got you obviously know Paul Heyman and have a relationship with him. But same time, what did you think of what he had to say? I mean, I think just real quick that him being put in that element, he's the perfect guy for that, to spin whatever you need to for WWE, to convey a message that WWE is searching for. Who can you ask better than Paul Heyman to do that?
Paul spun everything beautifully in an interview that went over an hour.
Wow.
He had advertised it as he was only going to talk for about 5 minutes, and he wound up being on there for over an hour. He walked through his thoughts on WWE Unreal, which are not dissimilar to, I haven't seen the show yet, but just the concept of it. He and I are fairly aligned, and we don't love it, but this is the way the industry is going, and it's either get on board or you're gone. The big headline grabbing moments were him talking about the ESPN deal and how great it is to have this presence, and how he started on ESPN with AWA.
Yeah, that's right.
And what bothered me was he said AWA was the last time ESPN aired wrestling. We all know that's not true. It was the GWF.
Oh,
and that was
right. We all know that. We all know.
Dude, it was the best thing. You came home from school and you got to see the Patriot. You got to see Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. You got to see the Lightning Kid Sean Waltman. Like all your big
Mr.
stars.
JL?
Mr. JL, whoever that mystery man was.
What a pull, Dom.
But we can go to the pug Alex Porto if we really want to go for deep pulls on GWF stars. But he talked about Brock Lesnar and addressed, generally speaking, the idea of Brock is back. People are always going to have opinions, and they're going to say things. He's like his comparison was Jesus was tried. They tried to cancel Jesus. They've tried to cancel Moses. People have been critical of Abraham Lincoln. Kevin,
Jesus?
Yes, Kevin. If you were drafting between Jesus, Moses, Abraham Lincoln, and Brock Lesnar for moral integrity, you got to go Brock first, right?
I mean, thing is, Brock's gonna be Brock. You know, he's not gonna want to come out here and do the kumbaya stuff that Jesus loves to do when he gets out there. You know, Lincoln's gonna want to cut a promo. You know, so it's like Brock is a meat and potatoes guy. He's a worker's worker. And I don't think he's going to play ball with those other gentlemen, those other luminaries. He's going to put over? Come on now. You know, he's not putting them over. He's not doing that. But it is Paul Heyman 101. He is you could listen to him read a phone book and he could sell you on some random thing and cut a promo on anything. And it's almost like the joy of his intelligence is so non-stop flowing. But, the spin machine is certainly hard here. I understand the blowback for it. But for me, I think I don't want to say people are going to forget about it,
They aren't, but what he kind of revealed is this came together within the last couple of weeks to get this teed up. So this was not the long-term plan. And he did let the other cat out of the bag, which was, yes, there was a long-term plan involving John Cena and Travis Scott and Dwayne Johnson. Things kind of fell apart with Travis Scott. And there are some folks in WWE who are not happy with him.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre was calling him a POS like a little while, just letting rip.
He definitely was. And it's one of those things where when you're writing a story and you don't own all of your characters, you are beholden to that world. He wouldn't go so far as to throw Dwayne under the bus and basically said, if you want to have Dwayne Johnson or Brian Gewirtz on here, you can bring them on and they can tell their side of the story. He goes, I don't care who didn't show up. We had to deal with who did show up. And the path forward was John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. And that's what this felt like. This felt like they pulled John aside and said, we know we had a plan. That plan is gone. You've already faced Orton. You've already faced Punk. Who do you want to face before you leave? Hunter's unavailable. Edge is unavailable. Batista's unavailable. Your only other rival is Brock Lesnar.
Do they get The Rock involved before Cena's done for any type of match?
Doesn't sound like it's going to happen
on the table. It doesn't.
It felt like there was a trajectory of where this was going, and they had to call an audible, and it was a hard audible of John's a babyface now. The last several months were all a dream. Patrick Duffy is walking out of the shower, and everything's fine.
I love this statement he gave. You mentioned this. You kind of rattled it off. I don't know what happened with Dwayne. That's something you should have Dwayne come into these beautiful Yahoo studios and answer himself, or have Brian Gewirtz come in. I'm sure he can tell you their side of the story. I don't know. It's interesting that he brought the assistant writer, the main writer for The Rock, into that. Especially WrestleMania, I had enough on my plate. I wasn't really concerned with what happened with Cody Rhodes and John Cena's storyline.
It's why Paul was so good, because the way that he positioned it was that the main event of WrestleMania was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And everything that has occurred since then on WWE TV revolves around that. He is a master at what he does. It's worth going and listening. The fact that he lays out that Roman Reigns is the most compelling TV character of the last 5 years and deserves an Emmy is quite funny. But he's so invaluable to that company to put him out there and make every one of these bizarre decisions seem totally logical. It's also helpful that he can say it without Scott Chaplin interrupting him. That is a major value. Speaking,
it's a pivot. This is the most deriding of anything I could say that he said, though, in terms of just like, that's their thing. You got to ask them about that. Like he didn't defend what happened.
Well, because remember, The Rock is still a board member of TKO. Yeah. You can't bury him the way you can bury Travis Scott. And
the further I pull back from WrestleMania and being there, I was like, where was The Rock? Like even if you didn't have him there, is there something you could have done to make his character feel present in the storyline when he was such a big part of the build to it, in terms of like flipping Cena into a heel? And now Cena's a babyface again, and you didn't even get that interaction between them as like a two-man power trip or a payoff or anything like that. And mind you, I think that's just The Rock being so busy as The Rock, you know? So
nah, he's not that busy. It's not like DC is returning his calls, and it's not like the UFL is lit on fire, and it's not like people are downing his tequila or his weird energy drink or his beauty care product.
Energy? I'm sorry, I have big Dwayne energy. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
I've never seen it in a store.
You can find it. You can find it.
Well, it's Chicago. Chicago is weird. I remember Chicago is the only place you could get that Ric Flair energy drink.
Oh yeah, you guys in that elusive pursuit of the Ric Flair energy drink.
Yes, that was the old regime. This is the new regime. We're not worried about that anymore.
Kev, can you get Real American beer in Chicago?
You have to go to like liquor stores to find it.
Oh, you can get it in Florida. If I could literally turn my sink on. I have water and Real American beer. Those are the only two levers that anybody has.
When do you have? Is there when you turn it to go, brother?
I do love that the Hogan ad was still running on Raw. And I believe the joke some tasteless person made on Twitter was, well, if Sam Adams can still hawk beer while he's dead.
Man. Well, what was I going to say? Robert, to get back to the Heyman thing real quick, when it comes to Brock, what do you think about the aspect of him saying what he had to say, saying Brock's like, you can't really cancel Brock and everything like that? Does that further speak to the lawsuit and everything like that, and how WWE feels about what they have, lined up for Brock in regards to all that as well?
You're not putting Brock Lesnar on. I said this before. You're not putting Brock Lesnar on TV if Janelle Grant's folks have a smoking gun against him.
No,
there's no reason, and there's no reason to put him in there with John Cena in one of the biggest angles that they're going to have, which is the retirement of John Cena. If there was significant concern that there was something that was going to be revealed to implicate Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the pivot they would have to make, if all of a sudden Janelle Grant's lawyers came out today and said, here is, and I said this jokingly the other day, but it's not really entirely jokingly, they would have needed to have shown a text message verified where Vince texts Brock Lesnar and says, I have this woman who's being forced to do things against her will. What would you like her to do against her will? And if she does this, will you re-sign with my company? And Brock would then need to have assented to all of that in order for him to be implicated in sex trafficking charges, at least for where I sit, where I would want to feel comfortable proving that case. The rumor and innuendo that their team is trying to put out there about this is where I have a little bit of trouble swallowing it, and the fact that WWE feels they have done enough due diligence to say, yeah, we're going to risk putting Brock Lesnar on TV right now at the same time we are announcing $1.5 billion deal with ESPN and Disney for this to be streamed all over the world. Yeah, we're good with bringing Brock on right now. I don't think they take that step unless they think that they're pretty well insulated on the Lesnar situation.
Right.
We have some comments here. We have some comments from the very game Stubby, who said, I want to read this one. He said, oh man, this one hit. We were talking about Real American Beer. He goes, lol, Sam Adams was a pivotal figure in the Revolutionary War, but now he's just a beer.
And someday future generations are only going to know Hulk Hogan for Real American Beer. And then someone's going to be like, do you not remember he's the first person to have slammed Andre? Kids don't respect history.
Stubby's still firing off shots here. As long as we have strong men like you all, who needs attractiveness?
Stubby just chiming on
live rounds. But he gives me the deal here on Brock. He goes, I'm sure Brock is above the filthy crap that Vince did, accused of doing. So let's be clear, legalese. He seems like an angel. I don't know if he seems like an angel, but
that was the thing Paul Heyman talked about. He goes, all Brock's been doing the last couple of years is focusing on making his daughter a world-class shot putter, his sons great hockey players, and being an attentive husband to his wife. And I'm sure if Rena freed herself from the radiator she is handcuffed to, she would absolutely agree.
Robert, do you want to have a human version of the Hulk come storming through your wall and have Marty bark at him, look at him, and then run away? You say Brock like that, he comes.
Here's why I'm not worried. This is on the internet, and his house does not have the internet.
No.
That man definitely has a flip phone.
Hey, real quick, what are your guys' thoughts on Dynamite?
He's got the old Nextel.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's definitely a Nextel guy. His is the one it's the phone that also has the walkie-talkie.
Oh my god, he's got the rotary phone. That's what he's doing. Thoughts on Dynamite, everybody?
Oh yeah, Dynamite was last night. What a show! Hold on, I'm pulling up the results because I don't remember any of it. MJF and Mark Briscoe was a great main event.
Mm-hmm.
It's great when you do a wild street fight brawl and end with a dusty finish.
Yeah.
Yikes. But we're going to get MJF and Hangman, but we'll probably get maybe a triple threat.
Who knows? Right?
The best thing on, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to admit it here. I won't admit it. The best thing on this show was the Young Bucks entrance. It was great. That is sports entertainment, guys. Their screen not rising high enough, the botched pyro, them being identified as Generation Me.
I went to the Aragon show, the first one they had at the Aragon about a month and a half ago. I loved the setup at Aragon. I heard some people on the internet didn't think it looked cool. I was there. It was a very cool experience.
What's the Aragon?
The Aragon Ballroom, where they did their residency in July.
Is that the Alamo? The Alamo looking thing?
No. That's Casa Bonita.
It looks like. And some people were saying it looked like they were wrestling inside of Casa Bonita.
It's definitely Casa Bonita.
Yeah, but it was fun, and I've done a lot of rock concerts there, and I knew how they could use the space, and they really did use the space. They had fights on a catwalk outside the building. They used one of these like gondola balconies for a Tony Storm promo. So I liked it. I saw some clips of this. I haven't seen the full show. This was an adjustment because I was so enjoying the shows they had at Aragon and like the look and feel, because I know the building so well. But it was also like, oh, this is different. I think they need to continue to pivot in these residencies.
I dug it. Like that theater in Chicago was cool. But you know what's an even cooler theater in Chicago? The Lincoln Theater.
Yeah.
Yes, Lincoln Hall. I'm taping my stand-up comedy special this Saturday night at 9 p.m., a part of the Windy City Comedy Festival. It's a 9 p.m. show. I'm advising my parents to take a nap around 3 p.m. so they're fully charged. They need to buffer their day. All right, so this is really going to count. I have one take at it. Usually when you tape a comedy special, you do like 2 sets and you cut them together, or like a rock album, Guns N' Roses, like a live album from them is amalgamated from different performances. I have one shot, like Eminem. I got one shot, and I'm going to swing really hard. There is pyrotechnics, quote unquote, being produced for this. There will be accoutrement, a gaga, as one Bruce Pritchard would say. There will be gaga. And I have a meeting with my director, Ariel Julie, who's the director of the Windy City Comedy Festival. The look will be Slayer red. It'll be very heavy, like black and red. I want to look like I'm performing on the cover of a White Stripes album, if you've ever seen those albums. So there's aesthetics. There is wrestling jokes. If you're a wrestling fan, I will do a lot of wrestling jokes. And I will sneak them in there. And hopefully it'll be cool. And my mom won't tell me that it was inappropriate afterwards.
I'm sure it'll be wildly inappropriate. So just a reminder, if people want to get tickets, where can they go check that out?
You can go to my website, kevinkellum.com, windycitycomedyfest.com. If you just Google Kevin Kellum Lincoln Hall, it'll pop right up. Just make sure when you go to Lincoln Hall's website, there's 2 different shows. They have Karen Fion on the first show at 7 p.m. We're the late show. They listed as Kevin in Hell. It'll be right there. I heard some people, initially they listed him as just Windy City Comedy Festival before we announced the full lineups. But if you Google it, Kevin Kellum, Lincoln Hall, it'll pop up right there. If you're in Chicago, you know someone in Chicago, tell them about it. And then hopefully, this thing is streaming somewhere in early 26, probably.
So this is your chance to be immortalized, where you get to hear your laugh in the background for a Kevin Kellum joke. I'm excited to just catch it once it's finally available to watch. I'm sad I won't be able to be there in Chicago live, unfortunately. But hope anyone that's in that Midwest region goes and checks it out. Because what else are you going to do if you're living in Wisconsin?
You're in the general AWA, if you're in the AWA territory,
GWF territory,
yes.
Yeah. Get Gagne on the phone. Get Gagne on the phone, Tom. Get Gagne bump here.
I know. I gotta get Greg.
Look, to get Greg Gagne to show up at an event, you're going to have to pony up tens of dollars.
How much would Greg Gagne to drop kick me at the end of the show? Because he had a solid drop kick.
He had a big back surgery, so I don't think that's in the cards.
I was gonna say you got a better shot at Magnum throwing a drop kick at you. But
I'm gonna work my way down to Coco Beware for the run in on this one.
Oh man,
ooh, there's something exciting. Who doesn't love Coco?
Coco rules. He's great.
Coco's the best. Genuinely a real tough guy. But
I was just trying to think of those names. If we're doing wrestling obscure, just fun veteran getting names. Yeah, I was trying to think of one.
Yes, definitely come out to see Kevin Kellum.
Barry Horowitz, why are you here?
And the off chance that Salvatore Sincere will make a run in, but we will be back doing our sincerest tomorrow, as we do every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms. Tomorrow we'll be joined by Justin Barrasso, who's usually a Wednesday guy. He's a Friday guy. He'll be here tomorrow. He'll be giving us his thoughts on all the excitement of the week. I'll be recording an episode of Working Stiff in about an hour with Scott Chaplin, which means it'll be up later on today, unless Dom forgets, in which case it'll be up sometime Sunday. But either way, you'll catch that. But we'll be back here tomorrow, as we are every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative_ISH X account, the @SE Scoops X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo and ad-free shows. Check out Kevin Kellum's comedy special if you are in Chicago this weekend. Kevin, always great to have you on.
Thank you, guys. So appreciate it. The support is meaningful. I'm grateful. Thanks, man.
Love to have you on.
Yes. On behalf of the tallest producer in all of wrestling podcasting, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Wait, what about Billy in the CW? Did we cover Billy in the CW?
Don't have time.
We're out of time. Sorry. Gotta go.